Am I the asshole for not asking my dad to let my mom use his apartment? My 14 female, parents divorced when I was 11. When they divorced, my mom moved in with her sister in another state. Before they divorced, my dad enrolled me in a boarding school for middle school instead of regular school. It's one of the best schools in the state, and I have autism and ADHD, and they have a lot of support for students with autism or ADHD. Like 30% of students have some type of learning disability. I love it here. They have a lot of activities after class, and 6th grade was the first time since 2nd grade that I didn't fail even though I knew the material. I also have friends here, even though I had a hard time making friends at home, and I have therapy and group here. When my parents divorced, my mom asked me to tell my dad and his lawyer that I don't want to go to boarding school anymore, and I want to live with her because she signed a prenup, so she doesn't get the house or money, and the only way she can get money is if I live with her. I told her I didn't want to live with her because I really wanted to go to this school, and she moved without me, and she doesn't visit or call, and she doesn't answer when my dad asks about me visiting. My dad got an apartment near my school, so he can visit on weekends. If he can't visit, my old nanny comes up to see me. My mom called me and said she can't live with her sister anymore, so she wants me to ask my dad if she can use the apartment, and I can stay with her and only be enrolled for the day school. I said no, I like living here, so she said I can still live here, but I can see her on the weekends. I told her my dad uses the apartment to see me on the weekends, and I don't want to stop seeing him. Now she's mad at me, and she's back to not talking to me. Am I the asshole for not asking my dad to let her use the apartment? Not the asshole. Listen to me and listen good. Your mother's issues are not because of you. At no point should you feel guilty or think her actions are a reflection of you. I am sorry that she is treating you this way, but I am glad that you have one stable parent and a nanny that adores you. I know it hurts and you feel conflicted, because she's your mom. Maintain your boundaries and understand that it's okay if you decide to not allow someone to have an active part in your life. Keep shining bright and thriving, red heart. Not the asshole. Tell your dad what your mom has been asking you to do. He needs to know what is happening. They need to work this out between them. Your school sounds amazing, and so do you. Not the asshole. Please tell your dad. Your mom should not be putting this pressure on you. It's not your job to sort out her life. You seem to be thriving in your current environment, and as a mom, that should be her main concern. Not the asshole. Tell your dad she's trying to pressure you into not doing what's best for you. Your mom is a grown-up and is involving you in grown-up issues, which isn't cool. She's a big girl. She can get a job and get her own place. Not the asshole. I'm sorry to say it, but your mother is a user. Absolutely tell your father everything you've told us, and don't let her make you feel guilty. Not the asshole. You should not be used as a pawn in your parents' problems. I'm glad you are happy at school, and good for you for advocating for yourself. Am I the asshole for stopping my wife and baby's international travel? My in-laws frequently invite and pay for my wife to go visit family with them in AUS for a month at a time, and I have to stay at home and work. This time they've offered for her to go, but it'll also be our 5-month-old daughter's first big trip. I've never been thrilled about this arrangement anyway, but I've asked her not to go this time, which has caused heated arguments, but I just can't stand the feeling of regretting missing out on my first child's first flight, zoo trip, aquarium, swimming, enjoying sunshine. But I'm made out by everyone to be controlling and jealous about it. It's really confusing emotionally for me. AITA? More context. Flying from Europe. All family lives very close to us, and we see them a few times a week. One of her siblings lives in AUS, not parents or whole family. We are also going on a big trip in a few months with her family and this sibling. This is a spontaneous extra that's come up. Not the asshole. There's no way I'd be okay for my child to go away for a month as a baby. You'd miss so much. Either you go too, or baby stays home. Or a much shorter trip. Okay, normally I roll my eyes at the gender bias accusations, but there is no way in hell the comments would be going this way if it was a husband wanting to take the baby away from the mom for a month. Not the asshole. No way in hell I'm agreeing to be away from my 5-month-old for that long, and that far away. It's normal to want to see your child's firsts. And a month is a long time to be away from your little baby. When the baby comes back, he or she will be totally different. You are being treated a little like a paycheck here, whose actual presence is not necessary for the baby. This is not an essential trip to meet a grandma who is near the end of life or anything. It's just an extra fun thing your wife and her family want. That shows a disrespect for the fact that you have to work to support the family. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. They are only babies for a few months. 5-6 months is when the magic starts to happen. Her family can come to you. It is unbelievably selfish to take the baby for a month. Almost like they think dads don't matter. This is one of the most delusional comment sections I've ever seen. What the fuck? Not the asshole. Separating your infant from one parent for such a long time? You guys must be on drugs. Wow, just know, I can't believe the comments here. Also agree that if the gender was reversed and husband was taking baby for a month, there would be an uproar on separating a new parent, mom, from an infant. This is too soon. I would have been physically ill to be separated from my baby for that long, that early. Not the asshole. AITA, my parents were disrespectful, so I made them take a taxi home from the airport. AITA? My parents, 61M and 67F, went away on holiday, and it was agreed that I would drop them off and potentially pick them up, although this was to be confirmed due to lack of space in my car. I have a 5-year-old child and am a single parent. My weekends are usually very busy with rigid schedules. My parents know this. My son had football this morning from 10:20, 11 o'clock, and my mum said that she would let me know when I should start making my way to collect them from Heathrow Airport to minimize pickup charges. It was a tight schedule this morning, as I also had to walk the dogs before football, take kid to football, and restock the house with essential groceries plus some extra for a nice dinner that I had planned for my parents upon their return, and unpack my very small car to make space for their luggage. So my mum calls me at 12 o'clock to say they've just landed, and then 25 minutes later lets me know they're ready to be collected. I had just finished the food shop, and I just had to unpack it, then I was going to collect them. This would mean my parents would have to wait 35 minutes for me to collect them. I let them know as much. My parents turned around and yelled saying don't bother, and how they didn't care about the food shopping, and that I was unkind and unhelpful. I drove them an hour to Gatwick for their departure flight. They just expected me to be there right away. So I responded by letting them know I was on my way as soon as I had put all the refrigerated items away. They let me know this wasn't good enough. So I told them, I drove you to Gatwick, did a few chores for them whilst they were away that were a big expense time and money-wise that they've yet to pay me back for, and that they can get a taxi home. I then hung up as I found their attitude to be completely disrespectful. They called me back right away, doubling down that I'm an asshole, so I repeated, get a taxi. An hour later my dad calls me chewing me ear off saying, aren't you collecting us then? When are you getting here? I told him what I told my mum, get a taxi. He said that they have ordered one, but that it's taking a while. I said it will. If you had been nice you would be home already. Then I hung up on him. They got home 2 hours later than they would have liked due to me refusing to collect them, but I want them to know that they can't treat me like shit and expect me to go out of my way for them. They have stonewalled me since. In comparison, they refused to drive 10 minutes to the train station to pick me up when I came back from Italy with an ear infection, so had to get a taxi home. Whilst the distance home is considerably shorter, they refused because they didn't feel like it, not because they couldn't. I may have been the asshole by telling them to get a taxi and hanging up, but I feel that I need to get an outside perspective as I feel justified in my decision based on principle of respect. Update. So my parents did get a taxi home in the end, and I didn't greet them because I was still angry with them. My mum came upstairs in the evening to berate me. The usual you're so disrespectful and unreliable talk. I told her that I didn't come because she was rude and disrespectful to me. She is adamant that she wasn't. I asked her, is 30 minutes really too long to wait? And her response was, why should I have to? I let her know that was the last ride she was ever getting from me. She wasn't fazed at all. You offered to pick them up, they just didn't like the conditions, 35-minute wait. If they had been as rude and nasty to the taxi driver as they were to you, they'd still be sitting at the airport. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. They played stupid games and won stupid prizes. If my parents are kind enough to pick me up at the airport, I would be very grateful, even though I had to wait. If they told me to expect a long waiting time, I would just take the taxi without bothering them. A family pickup is a privilege, not a responsibility. Your parents are extremely entitled. You're not the asshole. I stranded my parents at the airport. They weren't stranded. They had options. First option, wait for you without being assholes. Second option, get a cab. Not the asshole. Life lesson. Don't be rude to someone going out of their way to do you a favor. Not the asshole. They said don't bother, so you didn't. Not the asshole. How can they be useless when you really need them, and then treat you like crap when they are the ones who need you and you actually want to help? Enjoy the Stonewall. Am I the asshole for asking for a public bathroom door to be closed? I was at a tourist attraction last month, and I keep thinking about this interaction and wondering if I did something wrong without realizing it. The scene: a busy ladies' bathroom in a fully air-conditioned building, one of the buildings you can get ice cream and such at this tourist attraction. The line for the bathroom is out the door, into the main part of the building. Ladies were standing in the doorway, actively holding the door open. It's not like there was a doorstop holding it open. The problem: I needed to change my disabled 4-year-old's diaper, and the only changing table was right in line of the bathroom door. I realized this entire building, dozens, maybe even 100 people, could see straight into the bathroom where I was changing my daughter. I asked the women standing by the door to close it for my daughter's privacy. She's 4. Yes, she's still wearing diapers, and yes, she might look like a baby to some people because she's small, but cognitively she's 4. It's bad enough that we have to change diapers out in the open of bathrooms at all, but I understand a diaper change can take up a stall for the time 2 or 3 people could pee. So it makes sense to put them outside of a stall when space is limited. But these women were upset about me asking them to close the door? It was a fully air-conditioned building, and there was space to move fine if someone needed to come in or out. Am I missing something here? Why would a group of women want so badly to hold a public bathroom door open? Why were they in a huff when I said, I'm about to change my child's diaper, and the changing table is right here in sight of the door, can we just not stand with it wide open for a few minutes? Maybe they thought I was asking them to not let anyone in until I was done. I feel like that would have been a crazy request though. That's absolutely not what I meant. So was I the asshole to ask for the door to just not be held open? Nah. Your request was reasonable, but as another commenter pointed out, your wording was accusatory instead of polite. You are the asshole, you were rude. If you don't want your rude energy matched, be kinder when requesting others to do things for you. You are the asshole. The request doesn't really make sense. The line is going to keep moving, and unless you're going to ask every single new person at the front of the line, it's just not going to happen. Stalls also open up all the time, and then people wash their hands, check their hair, fix their makeup. So now you have a bunch of empty stalls and no moving line because people can't see what's happening inside. It was a bad setup, and I fully understand why you're upset about that, but it's not really a reasonable ask in a public space. Sounds like miscommunication. They didn't know exactly what you meant, like you said yourself, and you probably then got a little angry for them not complying or understanding. This could probably have gone better if communicated better. I'm leaning a bit everyone sucks here because holding the door open for the line is common practice, and honestly, nobody is all that interested in what's going on in a crowded bathroom beyond getting to pee before having an accident. I think this is one of those situations where it's an unambiguous and very easy you are the asshole, because by your own admission you acted like an asshole in how you chose to communicate with the women holding the door open.